Looking for something to read? Well, these are the books that I've written. Hop on down to the description to find the Amazon links for all 4 of them, and keep your eyes open for more in the future. With that said, on to the video. Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am the Omni viewer, and it seems like there's a lot of dinosaur media that's been popping up on YouTube recently. A lot of stuff made by independent animators, or maybe just small-time animators who are otherwise professional, that are centered around dinosaurs in one way or another. And one in particular was pointed out to me by one of my patrons. One which is not complete yet, but there is a trailer which is practically a short film unto itself, called KYORYU. And having seen it, I gotta say, I'm really looking forward to seeing where it goes. KYORYU is apparently going to be a multimedia event. The end of the trailer says that it's going to be a series, game, and cineplay. So, which of those forms will be revealed first, I don't know, but based on just this trailer, I'm thinking it's going to be interesting. The premise of the trailer/short film is fairly simple. You have a post-apocalyptic setting which, based on the description and the various details in the video itself, is somewhere in Japan. But it's completely devoid of people and looks to have been slightly overrun by nature. At the very least, some parts are more overgrown than others. And we're following 2 dinosaurs, an adult and a younger one. Not an infant, but clearly still a juvenile. But they're not normal dinosaurs. Even though, in general, you can look at the shape and say that's meant to be based on a T-Rex, it's not a true T-Rex. The adult has protrusions above the eyes that are like these elk antlers, and both the adult and the juvenile have segments to their bodies almost like armor. And then, of course, later on we see these Dimetrodon-type creatures, only they look more like monitor lizards for the most part. And the first one we see actually has this weird camouflage pattern, like it's a military outfit or something. And the premise is just simple. The adult and the juvenile are walking down this particular street, and the juvenile is exploring and seeing what was left behind by the people that came before, all the while carrying a human skull in its mouth like it's a puppy carrying a ball. And then they encounter these Dimetrodon lizards, and clearly the Dimetrodon lizards are bad news, and it ends with a fight breaking out between them. That's it. That's all you really get in terms of plot. But does it really need more than that? It is just meant to be an introduction, a sort of visual idea of what this is going to be like when it's completed. And I gotta say, it's really looking good. According to the description, the dinosaurs are not original dinosaurs. They were genetically engineered, Michael Crichton style, but clearly something different was done to them. We get little hints of world building through certain visuals that imply dinosaurs may have been brought back for all kinds of various reasons. The camouflage pattern on that one Dimetrodon implies a potential military use. There's a billboard on the abandoned city street that shows children smiling and running with a dinosaur, as if it's some kind of family pet, or maybe a babysitter of some sort. I don't know. But the clues are all there that dinosaurs were brought back for a multitude of reasons, but whatever has happened, mankind is gone now, at least from this area. And the dinosaurs are all that's left, so they're sort of taking back the world. And just the way we see these characters interact is interesting in and of itself. Obviously you're gonna have a parent-child dynamic, and the juvenile is just precious. He's adorable. Or she. I don't know what it is. But like, it is so fascinated by this human skull that they dig up. And obviously that's kind of a morbid image of contrasting such cute behavior with the association of something dead, and it's something that could be you. But at the same time, it's just sort of so nice to see it. This little guy is so happy to have this new plaything. He's even protective of it. When he realizes that the Dimetrodons are going to cause trouble, he drags a rubber tire over and hides the skull within it, like, okay, don't want this to get damaged. Gonna keep it safe. It'll be okay there. All right, now we have to deal with this, and I'll get it when we're done. And that's some good characterization. The adult also has some interesting characterization that makes me wonder how intelligent it's supposed to be. Obviously, being an adult, it's going to have more experience, it's going to know more than the juvenile, but there are occasional hints that it might actually be smart, and not just smart by an animal standard. For example, before they enter the city street, they start in this clearly wild area before going into the urban area, and there's a sign overhead. I can't read the sign, it's not written in English, and I didn't bother trying to figure out how to translate it. But there's a moment where the dinosaur looks up at it, and you gotta wonder, is he just looking at it because he's observing the terrain and taking in his surroundings, or is he reading it? You could look at it either way. The way he moves, the way it's framed, it could be one or the other. The more we find out, the clearer that will become, I'm sure. There are other hints that suggest he is just an animal taking in his surroundings, like when his attention is drawn to a flickering light or something. But there is a hint that maybe there's more to him, which means this could be very interesting indeed. There are also some interesting touches at the beginning and end. For the most part, it looks like a very slick, photoreal, at least as close as they could get it, CGI work. But the beginning and end have these interesting little moments where it's like kind of an oil painting almost in motion. Not quite an oil painting per se, but it has that sort of more artistic aesthetic, more like a painting than something that's meant to be seen as a real three-dimensional thing. And the way they have it move, the way they just sort of smoothly transition from one to the other and back again, very nice touch. Adds a little sense of otherworldliness to it, I suppose you could say, where you are shown right up front that this is gonna be a little bit different. A change in art style usually clues people in that something's different about this particular work. And of course, the designs look really good. The Dimetrodons, like I said, heavily monitor lizard based, but they're not exactly monitor lizards. Not just because of the sails, but also because they're designed to look a bit more corpulent, if you will. They're bigger, they've got the weird patterns on their skin, obviously, and the sails. So they're clearly their own thing, and the main dinosaurs, again, base for a T-Rex, but the details clue you in that it's not quite a normal dinosaur, but it's not a dragon either. And they even incorporate some of the more recent discoveries about T-Rex, not by giving it feathers, of course. I'm pretty sure that ship might have sailed, but they do have the idea that the T-Rex was maybe a bit heftier than we initially thought. Like, it's not the lean, mean eating machine we saw in the Jurassic Park movies. It had a bit more chunkiness to it, you might say, which makes sense. It's a large predator. It would have to have some weight to it. But they managed to incorporate that while still adding these fantastical elements like the segmented armor and the antlers and the potential intelligence, sort of blending these ideas. And that's something I really like to see, this idea where you're allowed to have some fun with it. You want to incorporate more recent discoveries and have them be recognizable by modern scientific standards, go right ahead. But if you want to also at the same time embellish and make them look a bit different, go ahead with that too. It's what I've been encouraging from the beginning. You can make a scientifically accurate dinosaur if you want, but you're not obligated to. As long as it's recognizable as a dinosaur, then it's a dinosaur, regardless of what you've done with it. So, yeah, this is a project to keep your eyes on, I think. KYORYU looks like it could be really good. And I might do some of the other ones I've seen recently. The first episode of Soria aired. If you guys express any interest, I might do a review of that one as well. But for now, I just have my attention turned toward KYORYU, and if you haven't heard of it, you'll probably want to check it out. There's a link for the trailer down in the description, which is on their main channel, and yeah, I think this is one to keep an eye on in the future. Speaking of which, I must be going on to the future because I've got projects of my own I gotta handle. Until such time as those are completed, this is the Omni viewer signing off. Thank you all for watching. If you want to see us keep doing what we're doing, you might consider doing all the usual YouTube things, as well as hopping down to the description to find links to DeviantArt, Patreon, Twitter, and links for the different books in the Tales from the Omni Vault universe. Your support is naturally appreciated. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.